you listening?
I'm
Oh, okay.
waiting.
Well,
Okay,
I'm used to it, I guess, by now,
it's
but
okay, you didn't object, but,
I'm objecting now.
I mean, I can't object for an attorney, but.
No.
Can you answer the question but not talk about anything from before September of 2021?
Yes,
Go ahead.
about regarding the Medicaid.
Yes.
So regarding the Medicaid, when I tried to use it at, for example, Dr. Lopez's office, Dad will tell the office staff that had a different insurance and not to run the Medicaid.
All right. And you don't remember Dad threatening you in any way when, well, we can get to that later. So do you recall asking Dad to let you pick your daughter up an hour early?
Yes.
When do you remember that happening?
I want to say maybe it was a couple of days before my timeshare.
Do you remember what month and year?
I can't remember.
Okay. Would you like to look at the messages?
Yes.
All right. On page 120 and September 20th of 2022. Once you reviewed it, let me know.
I've read it.
Okay, what did you ask for from Dad on that day?
I asked him if it was okay if I could pick, so it was a Friday, and I asked him, I was gonna pick up on Friday, I asked him if I can pick her up just 1 hour early for my timeshare.
What was the response, if you know?
Well, he just basically said the same thing that, about due to the recent court order, all future requests will receive the exact same response. Essentially just denying the request. I don't want to read it because you guys can see, but basically denying, any type of extra time that I wanted to spend with our child, even if it was only an hour.
Okay, was there a fiasco in Nevada Day of 2022?
Yes.
What happened? First, do you remember approximately what date Nevada Day was in 2022?
I do not recall off the top of my head.
Okay, would it refresh your recollection to turn to the page where it talks about Nevada Day?
Yes.
Okay, go to 122, date stamp, and let me know when you're there.
I'm here.
Okay, so what happened during that weekend?
Okay, so during that weekend, Dad withheld, our child. He told me.
Let me back up. Was it your weekend or Dad's weekend
It
for the
was
Nevada Day?
It was my holiday timeshare, my weekend.
Normally, what day would that end?
It went in on a Monday or Tuesday, if I can remember.
If it's a 3-day weekend?
If it's a
What if
3-day.
it's Nevada Day weekend? What day would it end?
Monday.
Okay. So what happened on the Nevada Day weekend of 2022? For pickup?
For pickup. So it was, I thought that the schedule read that I was to pick on Friday at, if I can remember, 3 p.m. from not looking at the record.
Okay.
So I get to the exchange on Friday at 3, and if I can remember, I want to say I think I sent him a message prior to that day on Friday, if I can look. But I get to the exchange on Friday. Dad is not there at the pickup. I messaged him on the app to ask him where he was at, and I did not receive a response from him until later on. And Dad basically told me that my pickup day was actually Thursday, and because I was not there, that I had forfeited my timeshare. So I explained to Dad that it was a mix-up. I apologize. I thought it was on Friday. I asked Dad, I thought you would have reached out to me if you were there.
So what day and time was Dad there?
He was there on Thursday.
Okay, and was Dad right that you made a mix-up with the order?
That was correct.
Okay, and so did you hear from Dad on Thursday when he was waiting for you for the time?
I did not hear from Dad on Thursday.
All right, and then what happened on Friday? What did Dad say?
Dad said that I missed the exchange time.
Okay, and what was the result of that?
The result of that was, I kept asking Dad if he would exchange even after Friday on Saturday, and Dad took my entire timeshare and never offered me any makeup time.
Did you get your daughter on Friday?
I did not get her on Friday.
Did you
or
get your daughter
Thursday.
on Saturday?
No,
Did you get your daughter on Sunday?
no,
Did you have her on Monday?
no.
Did you ask for her all those days?
I did.
Do you remember Dad asking you for a copy of your daughter's birth certificate?
Yes,
Did you send it?
I did.
Have you attempted to work with Dad when he needs something?
Many times, I would attempt to work with Dad or offer accommodations for him when he would ask, to try to please him.
Okay. Do you remember Dad scheduling an appointment in December of 2022 without talking to you?
I remember him scheduling a lot of appointments without me. I just don't recall or remember exactly what that appointment was for.
All right. Do you remember asking Dad for accommodations for your daughter to see her grandmother in December of 22?
Yes.
Do you tell me what you asked him?
I think I told him that my mom was in town and if she could, spend time with our child.
Was it during his custodial time that you asked?
I believe so.
Would it help you refresh your recollection if you looked at the conversation?
Yes.
Okay, turn to page 124 on December 17th.
Okay, I refreshed my memory.
Okay, what did you ask Dad for during that time frame?
I asked him because it was the holiday of December the 19th. Do he think any time in between that my mom can see in the week, and during the week is his time?
And what was Dad's response?
Dad's response was no.
Okay. Do you remember around that time frame talking to Dad about working together to meet with the doctor about your daughter's vaccinations?
Yes.
What was Dad's response?
His response was noted.
Did Dad bring his wife to the exchanges at times?
Many times.
Has Dad's wife acted inappropriately during the exchanges?
Yeah, she would try to conduct the exchanges without present.
So counsel, I just want to question you, so you have a way of characterizing her answer before she says it, so
Mhm.
for example, saying, did his wife act inappropriately?
Okay.
You need to say, how did his wife act?
Okay.
Not because you're kind of leading her by putting suggestive words in your questions.
Okay. Have you been concerned about wife's behavior during exchanges? Is that preferable?
Well.
Are you asking?
Has wife come to the exchanges?
Yes, his wife has come to the exchanges.
How has wife acted at the exchanges?
She has acted very aggressive towards me. She has came out of in the parking lot during our exchanges. She gets out of the car. She skips around the parking lot. Other times she would confront me with my daughter in my hand and tell me to give my daughter over to her if I would ask her to have a present. She would call me names such as petty. Things of that sort. She would get out of the car during the exchanges and film with her cell phone. It was another incident over at the MLK police station, when she cornered me, in like a little outside area, and I asked her to go get Dad because she wasn't allowed to conduct the exchanges. I tried to walk away from her, and she followed me behind me, and then that was another incident when we had to have the police at the MLK station intervene due to following me when I had my daughter in my hand.
Has she made any appropriate gestures to you?
Objection meeting.
If there was a concern, are there concerns noted in the APCLOS records when they've occurred?
Yes, like trying to bribe my daughter to get off the phone with me. I'm afraid that she, would tell, I'm mommy, and she's mom. She would bribe her in the post messages with strawberry milk if she would end my call early. I would try to bring those issues up and on the app that is not doing anything.
Do you recall having an disagreement with about where to meet for the exchanges?
Yes.
What was the disagreement?
The disagreement, so we went to court in December, and our judge, and we were meeting at, again, all this stuff would occur with his wife walking around the parking lot, would occur closest to the substation close to his house in North Las Vegas. So the judge changed that to we're gonna meet at MLK police station. So we had a court date, we had a hearing, everyone knew to meet at MLK. Dad did not like that, and when I had to pick the child up, I had to meet him back at the North Las Vegas police station. And I did not meet him at the court order exchange location like the judge ordered.
Okay, I'm a little confused by that. So when did you go to court when the judge changed the exchange location?
We went to court, I want to say, like December 19th, 2020, and she changed the location. 2022.
Okay. Changed it from what to what?
So she changed it from the North Las Vegas substation that was closest to Dad's home to a middle spot being the MLK police station.
Did you and Dad have any disagreements after court about it?
No, we actually completed the first exchange at the MLK station.
Was there any conflict after that first exchange?
Yes.
What was it?
I want to say there was a conflict the day after Christmas. I believe that was on the 25th.
Why?
Because I think he brings his wife to the exchange again. He has her get out of the car to come and do the exchange.
Which exchange? Which location?
At the MLK police station.
Okay. Was there ever a conflict about where to exchange that you remember?
Yes.
Objection has been answered.
Okay, what was the conflict about where to exchange?
Dad kept trying to make me meet him at the North Las Vegas police station, which was against the court order.
What was his reasoning?
From what I can remember, his reasoning was he said that the attorneys are supposed to get together to confirm that that was the location. Is what I can remember from the out close messages.
Did you agree with that analysis?
No, because the judge had already ordered that this was where we were going to exchange at, and we had already exchanged at there before.
Were you forced to go to one or the other?
Yes.
Which one?
I was forced to go to the North Las Vegas location to pick.
Are there messages in the app about that issue?
Yes.
Do you remember sending for the emergency medical appointment?
Yes.
What do you recall? What the response was when you sent him the bill?
You know, I'm paraphrasing here,
Mhm.
but I do remember him saying that he did not give consent for me to take our daughter to the emergency room, and that he will not be helping out with the bill. And he may have said some other stuff, you know, in that, but
Do you remember exactly what he said?
no,
Would it refresh your recollection to look at exactly what he said?
yes.
Okay, I would like you to turn to page 128. Hang on one second. I'm sorry, make sure it's not 127. Oh, okay. So I'm on 128. At the top of the page where the first message from and the middle paragraph, please read that paragraph.
Correct?
Oh,
Or from me?
I'm sorry, the last sentence.
Next time she can come back home and be cared for.
Do you know what he's referring to when he said she can come back home?
He was referring to his home, his house?
Do you consider your home to also be your daughter's home?
Yes,
Did he refuse to help you pay for that bill?
he did. He told me, because he did not agree with me taking her to the hospital because he did not believe she was sick, that he was not going to help me pay for the bill. And I don't know if I can also testify to the
I'm
fact.
gonna move to strike, there's no question pending.
You just have to wait till she asks a question, okay?
Is there anything else from that incident that you want to add?
Yes.
What would you like to add?
I want to address when he says next time she can come back home to be cared for. I believe that during my timeshare, I was not allowed to take her to, I guess, to be seen by a physician. And because she was only with me for a short period of time, or it was only a weekend, that, you know, wait to be seen by a provider when she's with her dad during the week.
What's your concern with that position?
My concern with that position was that, you know, I was a parent too, and if our child was sick and she really needed medical attention or medical care, that he wouldn't try and tell me that I needed to wait 2 days before she was to be seen by a provider because if, you know, he believes that he is the only one allowed to take her to be seen by medical professionals.
Did your daughter get placed on insurance without your knowledge?
She did.
When was this and what happened?
I can't remember the exact date.
Okay, would you like to review the record to refresh your recollection?
Sure.
Then I am on January 9th. At the bottom of the page on 130 is the page.
Okay. I do remember, no.
Tell me what the issue was.
The issue was, our court order had said that, you know, to carry insurance for the child. And the message on January 9th, I called over to the insurance sent over, and I could not get any information from the insurance because it says that my name was on the insurance. And the rep confirmed that my name wasn't on the policy, so I could not get any access to the policy or pull, you know, what providers that the policy offered or, you know, anything like that. Because they were.
Did you try to resolve that with communication?
Yes, I think I reached out to that.
Okay. Were you ultimately able to resolve it?
I wanna say we did not resolve the issue.
Do you remember having an issue finding the police station in 23?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
She had a problem finding her daughter at the police station.
Objection, lady.
Well, I have to ask her if she remembered it before I can ask her more questions about it. I have to signpost for her.
You can
So.
say, was there an issue, or,
Was there an issue? Do you want me to rephrase your own?
yes.
Was there an issue at the police station in February of 2023, if you remember?
Yes, I do. I vaguely remember it being an issue in February at the police station.
Okay, what do you remember about it?
I remember we had a lot of issues at the police station, so from, not looking at the record, I think, there was an issue, and I told Dad that I felt unsafe and that we were going to exchange inside the police station.
Okay, do you remember having trouble finding Dad at the police station with your daughter?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Would it refresh your recollection to look at your exchanges that day?
Yes.
Okay, I'm on page 133 on February 5th.
Okay.
And just in the February 5th conversation,
Yes, I
What-
remember.
do you remember what that incident now?
Yes.
What do you remember about it?
I remember being parked in the parking lot, waiting for Dad, and me and Dad exchanging some text messages of I was not there, I was driving around the parking lot, and things of that sort.
Was it a really big parking lot?
MLK has a big parking lot.
Did you miss each other that day?
I think we did, I didn't see his car there, but at the end, I wanna say like 5-10 minutes later, we did complete the exchange and I did see his car.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna talk about therapy. Do you recall the court initially ordering that your daughter could go to therapy?
I do.
When do you remember the first time there was an order about it?
The first time that I can remember that it was a therapy order, I wanna say it was in December of 2022.
What do you recall about the order?
The order stated that Dad was to choose 3 providers and send over, and then Mom was to select one of the providers.
Was there a protocol for you and Dad as it relates to picking a provider?
We were to meet with the provider, and, get our gauge of that.
Okay. Did Dad send over 3 proposed providers?
He did.
Do you recall did you choose one? Well, what did you do after you received the 3 options?
I received the 3 options, I researched them, then I got into the outpost messages and I would ask Dad on how we can come together to schedule to talk to these providers to see which one fits best for our child or our situation.
And that was consistent with the December 2022 order?
Yes.
Do you remember what the options were from Dad, the 3 options?
I do.
Which ones were they?
So there was one for safeness, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Then there was another one from Dr. Pack and another doctor named Dr. Garcia.
What was Dad, do you recall, okay, so you testified that you recall reaching out to Dad
Yes.
to ask him if he would meet with the providers as contemplated in the order. What was Dad's response?
I don't want to guess, so I'm going to say I don't remember.
Okay, would you like to refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay, turn to page 135, which is on February 10th.
Okay.
What was Dad's response?
Dad had, well, first he told me that therapy has already been initiated with Safe House, even though that was not the place that I selected. And
Okay, let me back up. So you did already select a provider by that time? So okay, so just to recap
no
our timeline.
provider was selected, and Dad had already initiated and said that he put her, well, she was initiated with Safe House.
Okay.
So no provider was selected at all.
What was your response to that Dad's notification about enrollment?
He responded that I had already been in contact with Safe House and I have the information and to just sign the documents for therapy there.
Okay, and did you agree with that?
No.
What did you say?
Can I reflect my memory with the record?
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, once you review the response, can you just let me know if this is the accurate chain of events that
Yes.
you recapped?
Yes.
Okay. Did you consent to a certain therapist pursuant to the court order? The safe house therapy pursuant to the court order as you were allowed to do?
Consent meaning that
Did you choose
No.
safe? Okay. Did Dad schedule it without your consent?
yes.
Did you ask Dad again about his Medicaid coverage around that time?
I did.
What was your concern?
My concern was that one minute he would not want to use the insurance and then the next minute he would. So I was just concerned about, if I'm gonna get a bill from him, regarding the copay or if he, was just going to use the other insurance.
Okay, and what are you asking him for as it relates to Medicaid? Do you want to refresh your recollection and take a look?
Yes.
I'm on
Okay,
the
but
same,
first you need
sorry.
to be sure she doesn't remember, rather
Right.
than jump right to just reading from what's already admitted into evidence.
right. Do you remember what you said about the Medicaid specifically?
No.
Would you like to review it briefly
Yes.
to refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay, I'm on February 10th at the bottom of the page. Once you review it, let me know when you're ready.
Okay. I'm caught up.
Okay, so what was your concern regarding Medicaid at that time?
My concern was that Dad was saying that not have coverage by Medicaid, and I called Medicaid and they said that she had an active coverage, and it was not through me, it was through Dad.
Okay,
And all 4 of her medical providers confirmed that she had active coverage, and that claims have been filed all throughout the last year.
okay, and what were you asking of Dad at that point?
I was just asking him if we can kind of clear the issues up regarding the Medicaid insurance.
Okay, what issues were you trying to clear up?
That she was covered by Medicaid.
Okay, now, earlier I asked you if Dad had made you threats and you said you couldn't remember. Is that correct, accurate statement?
Yes.
Okay, would you like to refresh your recollection of that?
Yes.
I testified, I asked earlier that I would come back to that.
I would, Your Honor, if we're a couple questions down the road, so I would request that she ask the question again rather than, this is just a pattern that keeps repeating itself.
Your Honor, frankly, I was trying to save time, but I'm more than happy to ask the question again.
It's okay, she can just say. Okay.
Okay, I'm on page 136, if you would like to refresh your recollection, on February 10th, in the response from
The response from,
at the top of the page. So once you've had a chance to review that, let me know.
okay, I refreshed my memory.
Okay. Did Dad threaten you regarding the Medicaid?
Yes,
What
I
did
do
he say?
remember now. Dad, threatened me that he was going to file a complaint against me for fraud.
Why don't you go ahead and read the sentence that he said?
Okay,
Your Honor, I would object. I mean, it's in the record. The exhibit's been admitted. We're here for her testimony. I can read it into the record.
That's fine. You're gonna, attorney wants you to read it, you can read it.
okay, as for Medicaid, be advised that a complaint has been filed against you for the fraudulent use of it, and an investigator will be contacting you accordingly.
Do you think it's fraud to use your own daughter's insurance coverage?
No.
Did you have to go to court again on the therapy issue?
Yes.
When did you go to court again?
I want to say it was in April, and we had got an order regarding the therapy issue.
All right, why don't you turn to exhibit 27?
Page 27?
Exhibit 27.
I see it?
Is this the order that you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, what date were you in court for this hearing?
It wasn't, we didn't go to court. It wasn't a hearing in person.
Okay, so what date was this order issued?
April 27th, it looks like,
Of what year?
of 2023.
Did the court change the protocol of how you were gonna select a therapist?
Yes, ma'am.
How did they change it?
So they changed it from dad choosing the providers to then now mom is to choose 3 providers, and dad was to select one of the providers from that 3 people that I sent over.
After this order was issued, did you learn that Dad had enrolled your daughter in another therapy without telling? Or let me just ask you, did you hear about Dad enrolling your daughter in another therapy?
Yes.
Objection meeting.
Oh, hold on, you can answer.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you learn happened?
I learned that was seeing a doctor named Dr. Pat.
When you,
Can you just be mindful of not to use your daughter's name?
Sorry, Your Honor.
I don't think I need to move to admit 27 because it's a court order, but would the court like me to have it admitted? Okay, all right. Turn to exhibit 7. Does this exhibit look familiar to you?
Yes.
What is this exhibit?
It looks like it's like a records exhibit from Dr. Pat.
How did you get these records?
I got into contact with Dr. Pat.
I'm going to move to admit exhibit 7.
Any objection?
No.
Okay, so exhibit 7 submitted.
Based on your review of the records, who do these records concern?
Our daughter
And who else?
and me and
Okay, and who was the provider of these records concerned? I think you said it already.
Our daughter.
Who's the doctor?
Oh, Dr. Pat.
Okay. Had you
Sorry, I
consented,
couldn't hear you.
had you and agreed to have your daughter see Dr. Pack?
No, we did not consent together.
Were you aware that your daughter was seeing Dr. Pack?
I was not aware until 7 months later.
When is the first time, if you recall, that your daughter saw Dr. Pack according to these records?
It looks like she's, according to the records, like she saw Dr. Pack in April.
Okay, what date?
April 17th, 2023 was the first assessment.
Did Dad ever inform the court that your daughter was already seeing someone?
He never informed the court that I was already enrolled in therapy.
Why did it take 7 months to find out about it?
For me,
Mhm.
Dad, I mean, I tried to ask Dad on the app multiple times, was like in therapy, and I never got anywhere.
Okay.
So I never found out until I had my attorney file a motion regarding the therapy issue.
And then how did you ultimately find out 7 months later?
Can you rephrase your question?
How did you find out that your daughter was in therapy 7 months later?
How did I find out?
If you remember, if you don't remember.
I can't really remember, like, what's the first time that I found out about it.
Okay. Did you come to find out that had sent any paperwork from this office to your attorney at the time? Or any time? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Do you remember there being an issue with requested vacation day in May of 2023?
Yes, I do remember that.
All right. What do you remember about it?
I remember that I was at the exchange to pick up and Dad was not there. And I was calling Dad, I was texting Dad, asking him where he was at. And then I received a very late response that he was using his vacation time on the 19th instead of the 20th.
All right. So initially, what day did Dad request?
The 20th,
Okay. And what day did you go to the exchange?
on the 19th,
What day of the week was that?
a Friday.
Was that a special holiday or a different regular day? What kind of day was this for you?
My timeshare,
Okay. What was Dad's response? Well, tell me about the conversation when you got there with Dad.
Objection calls for a narrative, compound question, leading.
Well, I don't know if it's a compound question, but it does call for a narrative, so that's sustained. Do you want to rephrase it?
Yes. What happened on January 19th when you went to the exchange?
Dad was not there for the exchange.
What did you do after you learned he wasn't there?
I got on the app and messaged him and asked him where he was at.
Do you remember if he responded?
He did.
What did he say?
He said that he was using his vacation time and that it actually was to be on the 19th and that I was reading the order wrong or vacation time works this way or something of that sort.
Okay, and do you remember why you were confused about his request?
I was confused because it wasn't the day that he told me that was the vacation day. So it was the 19th, you know, I was there and he told me he was gonna use it on the 20th. So I was just confused, you know, because he wasn't there and it wasn't the day that he said that he was gonna use his vacation time.
Did he ever ask you for time on the 19th?
No, he never mentioned anything about the 19th. Because if that was the case, I wouldn't have drove over to the exchange.
Do you remember an incident when you asked for vacation time at the end of May?
When I asked for vacation time, Vaguely I can remember, yes.
Okay.
To go to Michigan, I believe.
All right. Do you remember what objections were to you taking a vacation?
I don't wanna guess, so I'm gonna say I don't remember.
Would you like to review the records to refresh your recollection?
Yes.
Okay, look at page 140. And that would be May 22nd. Tell me when you're done reviewing it.
Okay, I'm done.
Well, first, what was your requested vacation?
My requested vacation was, June 25th, 2023, and returning, our daughter on June 29th.
Have any objections to your request?
No, he said okay for the days requested, but he said however, he didn't receive the itinerary.
Okay, and what did he say about your insurance?
He says that, the HMO, it did not include out-of-state coverage for, so he could not give consent for her to travel out of state.
All right, so essentially denied your request to go on a trip with your daughter.
Correct.
And was there any court order regarding your type of insurance?
No.
What was the issue with your insurance, and how did that relate to you taking a vacation?
Just for me guessing, I'm guessing that, it was
Yeah,
just,
so we don't want you to guess or speculate.
okay,
All right, so all you know is what he told you.
all I know is what he told me.
Does he have more authority than you on decisions regarding where you go with your daughter?
Sometimes it seems that way.
Have you ever denied requests to travel out of state with your daughter?
Not that I can remember now.
All right, so remind me again the dates that you asked for a vacation pursuant to that message.
June 25th through the 29th.
Do you recall scheduling something on your vacation time?
I don't recall.
All right, would it help to look at your messages?
Yes.
All right, so turn to page 141 on the top of the page. It is June 2nd.
I reflected on.
Okay, what do you recall?
It was our daughter's checkup, her 4-year checkup, and he scheduled it on the 29th at 2:20 p.m.
Was that directly after you told him those were your vacation days?
Yes,
Did you respond?
I did.
What was your response?
I asked him if he could, choose 3 dates that work for him. Give me 3 dates, and I would choose one of the dates that I can make the appointment.
Did you have a conversation and discussion about that afterwards? Or strike that? Did you end up resolving an appointment for your daughter? Rescheduling?
Did I reschedule it?
Did the appointment get rescheduled?
I believe so.
Were you involved in that process?
No, Dad rescheduled it on his own to June 30th.
Ultimately deny you going on vacation?
Yes.
Do you remember why?
Well, one was because of the, insurance, he said.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if I can remember correctly, it was another one because he said, Michigan, had a high crime rate or something of that sort, if I can remember.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all that I can remember for right now.
Okay, would it refresh your recollection to see his response?
Yes.
Okay, look at page 142, June 4th.
Okay. So Dad told me that, his consent cannot be given based on the following unresolved issues. One, number two being that he doesn't have insurance. Then, the other one was that he said that he did not receive the itinerary within the 30 days prior to the planned vacation dates. And then, he also said the accommodation location is extremely high in crime and not safe for our daughter.
Where was this planned location?
My family resides in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, so he objected to you going to see your family in Detroit.
Yes, because he says that they live in an extremely high crime area.
Do you agree with that?
No.
Reviewing the objection about the itinerary, is there a requirement from the court regarding a deadline to receive the itinerary?
No.
Okay, what was the objection from him?
He just didn't want me to go out of town.
Right, but what was the days that he's saying that you needed to have given him one?
He didn't say in the app.
All right, but he said that it wasn't received 30 days prior.
Yes, prior to the vacation days.
Is there some order that you can point to that requires that?
Not that I can recall.
All right. Did you comply with the court order and provide therapist options for your daughter?
I did.
What was the response?
He said that the list was no longer necessary. And he said that he's already been engaged in therapy with Dr. Pat.
Okay, so this is when you found out, or was there that another time?
So yeah, I think this is when I found out, So June 15, 2023 is when I found out from Dad that he had her enrolled in therapy.
Do you know how he was able to do that without your consent?
Well, here in Nevada, therapists or MFTs, social workers, they only need a consent from one parent to initiate, services.
All right, and were you continuing to ask Dad for information regarding this alleged therapy?
Yes, I continue to ask Dad to include me on the communications with him and Dr. Pat, and to let me know, and to notify me of any appointments.
Were you notified?
No.
What was Dad's response when you asked him, if you remember?
I can't remember.
Make sure this matches up. Okay, so would it refresh your recollection to look at one example?
Yes.
Okay, turn to page 148. Tell me when you've had a chance to review the conversation.
I read it.
All right, what do you remember his response to be, or?
His response was that my list was objected to by another attorney.
Did you ever agree, or do you agree with that?
No.
What was your response to that?
I told him it did not give him the right to disregard the court order and, decide on his own which therapist to pick and enroll her in therapy without my knowledge.
Do you remember there being a problem when there was with there being an issue at the exchange due to a natural disaster?
Yes,
When did that occur, if you remember?
Labor Day.
Was what day of Labor Day? What day of the week?
It was like a Friday.
Okay. What do you recall happening that day?
I recall it being an extreme flood here in Las Vegas, and the streets were like flooded with water. It just was a lot. Very dangerous situation to drive in, or to me it felt like with the water and things like that, and the lights going off, and police outside trying to direct traffic and things of that sort.
How did that affect your exchange that day?
It affected my exchange due to the severe weather. I was late coming to the exchange. I notified Dad on the app that I was running behind because of the weather, and that I was going to be late coming to the exchange because of the severe warnings that we were getting regarding the storm here.
Do you remember if Dad responded to you?
I want to say he did.
Okay. What happened when you got to the exchange location?
When I got to the exchange location, Dad was not there.
Did you reach out and try to reschedule?
I reached out to Dad multiple times on the app and did not get a response.
Do you remember what Dad ended up telling you?
I remember vaguely of him telling me that he watched me drive through the rain and drove around the police station or something of that sort.
Was there a reason why Dad didn't reach out to you? Did he tell you why?
He said that it was so many different reasons I kept getting from him. One was that he didn't have any service. The other one was that his phone was dead.
Did you have service on your phone that day?
I did.
Have you ever lost service at the police station?
No.
Did you end up getting your daughter for Labor Day that weekend?
I did not end up getting my daughter for Labor Day that weekend.
Did you miss the entire weekend?
I missed the entire holiday weekend.
Did you continue to try to pick up your daughter?
Yes, I continued to, I reached out to law enforcement to see if they can give him a call. They tried to reach him, but he did not answer.
Did you have plans with your daughter set for that weekend?
Yes.
What did you have planned?
We planned to go hang out with her cousin, and then we had some plans to go to Sequest.
Oh. One follow-up question. Do you and Dad share the same phone company?
Yes.
What phone company do you use?
T-Mobile.
And are you sure that Dad also has T-Mobile?
Yes.
Did you have phone service during that entire period?
I had phone service the entire period when I was there.
Do you believe that Dad's was the only phone that lost service in that vicinity? Well, that's fine.
Are you listening?
I'm
Oh, okay.
waiting.
Well,
Okay.
I'm used to it, I guess, by now,
it's
but
okay, you didn't object, but
I'm objecting now.
I
go, you,
will rephrase.
I'm so conditioned.
I'll withdraw the question.
okay. I mean, I can't object for an attorney, but
No.
She testified they have the same phone service. I don't know that I needed to ask that question, so
okay.
I'll withdraw it.
So counsel, you are aware that this was set for a one-day hearing, right?
Yes?
It's now 3:30. And we've gotten through, I assume, maybe a third of the client's testimony based upon your number of exhibits?
No, this is my main exhibit that I'm using.
So
For
you're
my
gonna be
client?
able to conclude today and then Ms. Marr's gonna have sufficient time to do her part?
I'm doing my best to get through.
I would submit that there's no way that I'm going to be able to in an hour and a half?
Well, I mean, considering that we're not done yet, right?
Yeah,
If
there's
there's
just,
witness-
there's no way.
Your Honor, my perception is that these messages are extremely relevant for the court's consideration, considering Ms. trying to move to Texas. However, if the court wants me to limit it to a few more examples, if the court feels that I have made the point of the lack of co-parenting, or,
Well, counsel, I can't tell you what to do with your case,
Mhm.
right? I'm just saying that you are
Understand.
aware of the time constraints, because we set this for a one-day hearing, and it was somewhat delayed because of the issue with your exhibit not being properly bank stamped, which cost us about an hour of time or so. So
Right, I
I'm not going to be able to limit, the defendant
right.
based upon that error.
So, Your Honor, my understanding is, we took our 1 hour lunch break so that we could do that, but I understand the court's concern. I also know that
Well,
I
we got back
accommodated.
at 12:30 and we didn't have the exhibits.
Yes.
So-
Well, just for the record, I did have the exact same exhibit that I could have started with in the other book, but I understand the court's concern that you wanted to wait for co-counsel to return from the office. I understand the court's concern about timing. I'm doing my best to get through as quickly as I can. I also did accommodate Ms. Marr's request to take a break so she could attend another hearing, and I know we did start a little bit late this morning, but I will try my best to get through, what I can. I really only have,
Well, counsel, the reality is we're not gonna finish in one day. I mean, that's the
Okay.
reality.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say, Your Honor,
So-
right,
I mean, I get that stuff
Yeah.
happens, but the reality is we're not gonna get done.
I
I'm just
understand.
mindful of the fact that your client doesn't live here. So he has to come back again to do day 2, right?
Yes, that's Leonard, I have to fly out at boarding at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
Okay,
well, and we
So-
do exchange the child with him flying here, and then,
so
Fly
let me
back.
do this, let me try to, I'll give you guys some days, you can let me know what works for the second day, and then we'll take a short break, and then we'll just conclude like 4:45-ish today.
Thank you, Your Honor. And
Because
then,
I
oh,
won't
sorry.
keep my court staff to have to do overtime.
No, I appreciate that. It's been a long day. In that regard, before we find the next available date for trial, my client would like to know, because he's taking the child back to Texas, and so he'd like to know, do you want to see if that exchange can be today or the morning?
It was ordered for tomorrow, and the flight had been changed from 4 o'clock to 11:30. That was nothing I did, that was what Frontier did. But she objected in the app and said she wouldn't be able to accommodate that. And I don't wanna have to buy new tickets when it's still per the order. And I'm just hoping that we can board the plane at 10:30. I have a job to.
So I'm just confused, like what time were you anticipating?
Well, we have to be boarding at 10:30, so.
No, but I mean, when were you supposed to be
4
doing it?
p.m. tomorrow.
4 p.m. Originally when the ticket was purchased,
Oh,
yeah.
so it's just earlier in the day tomorrow?
Yeah, correct.
Well, I mean, obviously, I would hope that you guys can work this out together, but, and I don't have to work you to do it, but it just seems to make sense, right, that we just have her there earlier, or you pick her up earlier so you can make your flight. We don't
Correct.
want to incur more expense, unnecessary expense. Right.
Thank you,
So
Your
that's
Honor.
fine.
Thank you.
What, so
Video-
whatever time you need to get her.
Video
tomorrow.
FaceTime because she's starting school next week. And so
Yeah.
video FaceTime, she has to wake up
Well,
about.
let's solve this problem first.
what's the flight number? The flight,
Look it up. It's in the documents.
Well, let's look it up.
I can get it to
You're
you.
really good,
Yeah.
now let's do it now, do it quickly.
Yeah, we'll take a look, where are you
Please.
flying to?
It's, wait, that's not it.
Where's the flight to?
Looks like it's flight number F93645. Wait, no, I apologize, that's the August one, I apologize, it's actually 3646 for August 9th, 3646. Boarding is at 10:45.
Las Vegas to,
To
Austin?
Austin, correct.
Where did Lorien see the flight we made?
Oh, it's very small, it's underneath the
Oh, okay,
airplane
so
icon.
it's-
Your Honor, I'm confident that we can work together on this issue without the court's involvement.
Well,
No, but it hasn't been.
I'd like to resolve it
Yeah, if
now
that's-
if possible, so he can get the child this evening, or?
Well, so just,
What time do you need to be there tomorrow?
Boarding's at 10:45, I should be there
So
probably,
8-ish?
yeah, about
So
8:30,
can't you just get her like
8:45.
around 7-ish in the morning so she has another night with mom?
Sure,
Okay.
I agree, she should have a night with mom.
Yeah.
and just based on, the only reason why I wanted to verify that there's been other misrepresentations, as long as that flight was changed and everything is on the up and up, we would have no problem with that. That's why I said we could resolve it.
We'll address that in
Yes,
accurate
it's in today.
representation, yeah.
Okay, so the dates that we have available for you guys, we would have September 30th. And you guys could start around 10, which is on Monday.
September 30th?
Correct.
I have a, child appointment at, in the, yeah, it's in the afternoon, but.
So I'm anticipating, giving you guys a half day,
Okay.
right? We're not gonna do this for 2 full days, so we'll give you a half day. The other day we would have would be the following day, the October 1st at 1:30, which is a Tuesday.
I can't do the 1:30 on the 30th, but I can do the 1:30 on the 1st of October. I think it's October already.
So you could do October 1st at 1:30?
Yes, that's correct.
And how about counsel for the plaintiff?
Yes.
Oh,
This works?
Yes.
October 1st at 1:30?
Yes,
Yes, I'm available.
okay. Okay, so do you guys wanna just take a quick break and then we'll finish up?
Oh, please.
Yes, yes, thank you.
So you can see, and I think that we can back up on the stand.
And Your Honor, we did discuss a protocol for tomorrow. If you want it on the record, I can put it on.
Sure.
Okay. My client is going to plan on going to work since she's not gonna have the child for the day, so she's gonna be there she has to be there by 7:30 in the morning. So they're gonna meet at the airport with her dropping off and passenger drop off for Frontier at 7 o'clock. And, the defendant's gonna walk up to kind of like the honk and seatbelt idea, but he's gonna be just walking up to the sidewalk at passenger pickup, and then she's gonna be pulling up in her car at 7. And just for the record, because she can't be late to work, so he's agreed that he'd be there at 7, and they'll do the exchange there.
It's actually departing flights, not passenger pickup.
I meant departing flights,
Yeah.
drop off
Sure.
Okay. at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. All right. Okay, I believe when we left off, we were talking about Labor Day weekend of 2023.
Yes.
Did you end up getting compensatory time for Labor Day?
I believe I did, yes.
And did you go back to court to receive that time, or was that agreed upon by?
We went back to court.
All right. You talked about not realizing how many sessions your daughter had, how many therapy sessions your daughter had without your knowledge.
Yes.
Do you remember what date you reached out to express your concern about that?
When I reached out to,
To,
when he told me, I think I reached out and asked him about it. Was that in June?
yes, do you remember any other times?
Before then or after?
After.
Yeah, many times after June. And
Okay.
I'm sure the record will reflect that. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
Do you recall an appointment being scheduled for Dr. Pack and your daughter at a museum?
Yeah, the Children's Discovery Museum.
Okay, what do you recall about that appointment?
I recall Dad notifying me with less than 24 hours yet again after we had already went in front of Judge Rochelaw, and she told him that he needed to include me, you know, with the appointments and the therapy appointments. And he notified me on the app with less than 24 hours and said, hey, Dr. Pack is going to be observing the Discovery Museum at this time and date.
Do you remember Judge Rochelaw also warning the parents regarding?
I would,
Do you recall Judge Rochelaw making any other warnings at that hearing?
Yes.
What did she?
object to leading the form of the question.
It's overruled. I mean, I'm not 100% sure about the relevance of what this is, but are you
Okay.
just trying to get an order into evidence
No.
or?
No.
Of which I can take judicial notice?
Yes.
Or, I mean, what is, the minutes? I can't, but what are you trying to do?
Would you like me to offer the proof of what I'm trying to do? I can. I was not on the case, of course, at this time, but from what I understand, there was a admonishment on the record by the judge that did not make it in the order, so I'm asking my client if she recalls the admonishment.
I'm sorry, admonishment by the judge that what?
So if I can make the offer of proof, because it's in the record, in the hearing video, Judge Rochelaw said that if.
So you're not talking about a written order, you're talking about something you observed
It's
on the video?
It's in the hearing record.
In the minutes or in the
Nope,
transcript?
it's in the actual hearing record, yes.
I would object because it's not, she's leading, and if she wants to make herself a witness, that's fine, put her on the stand, but if it's not in an order in a court minute, it's not part of the record.
It is part of the record.
Arguably.
Well, what, do you expect me to pull that tape and watch it?
I was going to ask my client what was said at the court hearing, and
But how would I be able to know what was said at the court hearing if it's not reduced to writing?
well, if the other side objects to that,
Do
I
you
can,
have the tape with you?
I
Are you gonna make
believe,
that into evidence?
I can. I
No,
can,
is it, well, you can't now because you have to
Right.
disclose your evidence prior to a hearing.
I understand, it's not evidence because it's part of the court record, but if the court wanted me to play the hearing video, I could the next time we come here.
Well, Your Honor, the
I mean, you can
I'm-
simply ask her if she's aware that there were orders made and if she's aware if to her knowledge, Dad didn't comply with the orders. You could do it that way.
Yeah, if I could ask the question, then maybe Your Honor would allow it, depending
I
on.
just told you what to do.
Okay,
as long as
So
it's,
you can ask her.
I would object to leading. I mean, I've been very lenient, Your Honor, otherwise we would be here for breakfast, but
She was present at the hearing, right?
yes, she
You
was.
can ask her what she recalls.
Okay. Do you recall any admonishments made at the hearing?
Yes.
What do you recall?
I recall that Judge Rochelaw, not very happy.
Okay, so let's not do that. So you can't really tell me what another person's demeanor was. I just wanna know what you recall about what was said in terms of an order.
Okay, what was said was that the judge was, Dad was teetering on legal custody violations.
Okay,
Well, I don't think that's highly responsive to the question your attorney asked, so do you wanna listen to it again? She can ask it again.
Yeah.
do you recall what the judge said about the withholding or any other issue at that hearing?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I can't lead the witness, so I'm asking her.
So what was the date of the hearing?
The date was.
I'm just asking you, what's the date of the hearing?
I believe it was December
19,
of 2023.
Okay, so just tell me what you remember about a hearing on December 19, 2023. Without telling me, what you thought someone was saying or
Yeah.
why you thought they were saying it.
I remember us going to court regarding the withholding for the Labor Day incident, and the judge giving me compensatory time and the judge, informing, the other party that I am to be included at, therapy, appointments, and that the therapy sessions are no longer to occur at Dad's home, and that I'm to be included with the therapy sessions.
Is that, has the court previously already made orders about involving you in legal custody decisions
Yes,
and involving you with therapy?
yes, involving me in therapy in the prior order in 2022.
Did Dad violate those orders?
Yes,
Did the court issue an order to show cause at the December hearing?
the court remained silent on the issue but gave me the compensatory time.
What was the subject of what your request for reconsideration in that regard?
Objection calls for a legal conclusion.
That's not a legal conclusion. I asked what her motion for reconsideration was requesting.
I'll withdraw my objection.
It's on for the trial today as well as the relocation.
Yeah, so if you know what your motion was, I know you didn't write it, but,
My motion for relocation,
reconsideration.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
For reconsideration, it was regarding, I guess the co-parenting difficulties that me and Dad were having. It was regarding, vaccines, issues that we've been having at the doctor's office, legal custody, the withholding, and issues of that sort.
Okay. What about order to show cause issues?
And it was we asked the judge to issue an order to show cause regarding the Labor Day. We asked the judge to issue an order to show cause, including giving me the compensatory time.
Alright. What order was Dad violating when he withheld your Labor Day weekend?
Objection calls for a legal conclusion. Misstates, facts and evidence, facts on the record.
I'm gonna sustain, just rephrase it.
Okay. Do you have orders granting you Labor Day weekend of 2023?
Yes,
What order is that?
our holiday order.
Does Dad does Dad have a copy of that order, as far as you know?
Yes,
Objection calls for speculation.
It does, so that's sustained.
Is the order filed in this case?
the order is filed in this case. Yes,
Is the order a part of this case court record?
But,
Yeah.
counsel, how would she know?
She would know that because she's gotten a copy that's file stamped?
Would she have, doesn't have access to Odyssey?
No, but she has all the entire file of her case from her attorneys.
Okay, so I'm just giving
I
a
mean,
little bit of latitude, I'm just not really clear about what about this
Well,
line of
the court can
questioning.
take judicial notice of all
Right.
orders filed in this case.
Exactly, so I'm not really sure why you're asking her, she knows what the court is aware of, what the court does or doesn't have.
I was asking her whether there's an order filed in this case, because that's part of the elements of contempt.
Okay,
Is that there's a valid order, that it's been,
counsel,
okay,
please.
I didn't mean to say it, and that way I was just saying that was one of the elements I was trying to ask her about. If the court wants me to move on, I can.
I would like you to move on.
Okay. Which order did you allege that, violating?
it was our timeshare order regarding, the holidays.
And did the court agree that that time should have been granted to you with your daughter?
Yes,
Thank you. What other orders, if any, did you allege were being violated?
our behavior order.
How is it being violated?
I'm just thinking of how I can answer this. I think for one example, the behavior order was being violated because, Dad's significant other was causing conflict at the exchanges where our behavior order said that, we're to not, have any unnecessary contact with any, spouses, family members, or anything like that. Another example from the behavior order was, The name calling, we were not to name call each other, and continued to call me a hooker in his pleadings, violating the behavior order. The behavior order says that when, you know, we have the child with us, that we can't question her about what was going on. I would get messages from him saying, well, that something, or, you know, he actually something. I guess can't remember exactly what the content was. But I do know our behavior order stated that we were not to question the child about the other parent's home.
Was there a request regarding therapy issues as it relates to the orders?
Can you repeat that?
Violate the orders relating to therapy?
Yes.
How did he violate them?
He violated the orders regarding therapy because he did not include me in the selection process. He disregarded the judge's order when the judge ordered for me to choose the 3 providers and that to choose from one of my providers. That is not what happened from that order. So we weren't, or the order did not get followed because of that issue.
Okay, and what you mentioned earlier, there was an issue regarding the vaccines. Please explain to me what you were referring to.
Objection calls for a narrative.
Sustained.
Do you recall there being an issue in the motion for reconsideration regarding vaccines?
Yes.
What was the issue?
The issue was that delaying the vaccines, or him not wanting to have to be vaccinated because for whatever reasons Dad doesn't believe in vaccines.
Is there any court order?
It's a court order for us to follow the doctor's recommendations, and Dr. Barlow's recommendation was, you know, that shots, but he could not, you know, if we did not agree as parents, he cannot force us to, you know, to give her shots. So during that time, Dr. Barlow had Dad sign, it was only Dad, signing these alternate vaccine refusal letters, or this paper saying that, you know, he was going to deny or delay the vaccine.
Did you agree with that decision?
No.
And was he dishonest in regards to what the doctor's recommendations were?
He was dishonest.
Objection.
How was he dishonest? I'm sorry.
He-
What was your objection?
I would object to leading.
That's a little.
Can you ask the question again?
How was he dishonest in regards to the doctor?
He would tell Dr. Barlow that it was me who did not want to have the child vaccinated, when it was really him who did not want the child vaccinated. So he made false representations to our prior court regarding the vaccines.
Okay, so you were just talking about representations to the doctor.
Mhm.
What representations to the court were made?
How do you know what he said to the doctor? Were you there?
I was there in the doctor's office.
And did you correct him when he was saying that it was you that didn't want the vaccine?
Yes. And that's how it came. So this is how it all came when I was in the doctor's office. I addressed Dr. Barlow because there was something said about Mom stating that Dr. Barlow said that Dad told him that Mom was going to chew his head off because he was going to give her vaccines, which, you know, it's the complete opposite. Dad doesn't want to vaccinate the child because he claims he believes in this friendly vaccine. This one doctor wrote this book about delaying vaccines. So that is what Dad relays his vaccination information on, and not Dr. Barlow from Anthem Hill's pediatrics recommendations, but from a book. That is not position.
And can you please stop saying her name?
Were there any misrepresentations to the court regarding vaccines?
Objection, vague, leading.
Yes, sustained.
Did you have any other concerns regarding behavior as it relates to the vaccines?
Objection.
The concerns that I had was that he was not,
What,
She-
I'm sorry, what's your
She's trying to
objection?
object to this.
Vague.
What was the question again?
Oh, concerns relating to, behavior as it relates to the vaccines.
At what point in time? Anytime or?
Well, she's, any time that she hasn't already spoke about.
So you're asking her the same question again or?
I said any other concerns of behavior as it relates to the vaccine, so she's covered saying inappropriate things to the doctor, and I was asking her about anything else besides talking to the doctor.
Do you have an objection or no?
I do, it's vague. I mean, how old's the child?
It's taken
Five.
over the bar, so it's sustained.
Okay. Have there been any misrepresentations to the court regarding vaccines?
Again.
If you know.
I can't recall.
Object.
Okay.
I'll withdraw.
Did you receive your Christmas visitation in 2023?
No.
Okay. What happened?
Dad never showed up or reached out on the message, or on the app post message to let me know that he wasn't gonna show up.
Okay, let's back up. What day were you supposed to receive your daughter for Christmas vacation?
If I can remember, I wanna say the 22nd, but I may not be correct, if I can. I'm not sure on the exact day.
Okay. Would you like to refresh your recollection by reviewing the messages?
Yes.
The page 163 is on December 22nd. Let me know when you've had a chance to review it. If you remember, have you had a chance to review it?
Yes.
What were the dates of your court-ordered time during Christmas break?
It was, the 22nd until the, 24th. Whatever that Christmas Eve was, I believe.
Okay. What happened on the 22nd? And first, what time on the 22nd were you supposed to exchange?
I believe the exchange was to occur at 6 o'clock.
Okay. What happened on the 22nd?
We were exchanging at Donna's house. And when I got to Donna's house told me Dad wasn't there. And I reached out to Dad, and he told me there would be no timeshare or visitation because I didn't complete Donna's house orientation is what I think he said.
Is that true?
I completed it that day, so it was not true.
Did you inform Dad that you had completed the orientation?
Yes.
What did Dad do?
What did he do and what?
What was his response?
I can't remember.
Did he bring your daughter to the exchange for your time?
No.
Did you ask him to, what did you do in response to that?
And so I do remember going into Donna's house. I remember Donna's house reaching out to Dad to see if he would bring the child and we can still do the exchange. I remember Donna's house staff telling me that they reached out to him.
Objection as to the hearsay.
Yeah, that is hearsay.
Okay, Your Honor.
So you can say what happened, you just can't say what someone said.
Okay. So just remember, seeking, help. I do remember seeking help from Metro. And I remember communicating with Dad and him basically just telling me, well, no, you know, I'm not gonna do the exchange unless it's like supervised at Donna's house. And, you know, I just basically missed my holiday timeshare because he was not going to exchange, and to meet him there next week.
When was the next time you were able to see your daughter?
I wanna say the following week.
Did you get to see your daughter for Christmas?
No,
Did you see her the Christmas before?
no,
Did you get any makeup time for your missed time for Christmas?
for this one in 2023, no.
Was the exchange after the hearing that you got your compensatory time from Judge Ursula?
Yes, so this incident happened after I was already awarded the compensatory time from the first withholding.
Are you asking? Are you saying something?
Clearing my throat, sorry.
Did you ask Dad for compensatory time this time, after the Christmas?
I did ask him for makeup time.
What was Dad's response?
I wanna say, he told me my time was forfeited, or it was my mistake or something in that way.
Did Dad's wife continue to come to the exchanges?
Yes, and she continued to come to the exchange even after Donna's house during our orientation. We were not allowed to bring extra people or have extra people in our cars because of Donna's house had the behavior order as well, and they were going to enforce that. But I remember an incident where I had to reach out to Donna's house because when I pulled up, I saw wife at the exchange, and it was going against the order, the behavior order and Donna's house rules. And I felt like, you know, I had her there to intimidate me or to try to scare me. So I reached out to Donna's house. Donna's house had their staff come outside. And then Donna's house helped us complete the exchange.
Did you apply for schools for your daughter?
Like for schools for my daughter.
Were you involved in that selection?
No.
How do you know he did that?
He told me on the app what he did.
What did he tell you?
He told me that he selected a school, for our daughter.
Okay, and what did he tell you about it?
I can't remember verbatim exactly what he said.
Would it refresh your recollection to look at the app?
Yes.
Okay, turn to page 168. On the
Okay.
31st of January
Yes.
this year. Let me know when you've had a chance to review it.
I've had a chance to review it.
Okay. What did Dad tell you about schools?
That he's applied to the lottery for the enrollment, and that the odds of her getting in are not in her favor. But it was a good school, and we're lucky if we can if she can attend there.
Do you remember Dad telling you he wanted to move to Texas?
Yes.
Do you remember when you first heard about this?
I can't remember the exact date, but I remember he told me on the app.
What was his reason? What did he tell you?
He told me a lot of different things, so I don't know if you want me to go through all the things that he's told me.
Tell me the first thing you remember him saying.
I remember first thing him saying was that he wanted to move to Texas.
Okay, did he tell you why?
He told me that he was going to be able to make $200,000 or something of that sort.
What was your response to his, well, did he ask you if you would consent?
Yes.
Did you agree to consent?
No.
What else did he say about relocating, if you remember?
He told me that it would be a better opportunity for him.
How is it a better
to
opportunity?
Texas. He says because he's been unemployed here in Las Vegas for 2 years, and that he was not making any money, and that she was depleting her retirement. I want to say that's what was said on the app, and that he wanted to provide, and he wanted to, relocate to be able to do that.
What was your response to his request to relocate?
And it's not from verbatim, but I remember telling him something under the lines that I asked him, well, did he apply for other jobs here, and that I'm actively involved in her life, and that all of her support systems are here in Las Vegas, and that I did not think it was in interest to relocate.
You keep saying her name.
It's just a really bad habit.
Okay, just try to remember for the record. Okay, we'll get back to that in a minute. Was there a time you paid money for
My timeshare?
gas?
Oh, yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
So there was a time where we were going to, it was a holiday schedule, right? I believe it was a holiday time. And Donna's house was not open during those times, so there was another place called Family First. And it was in Henderson. And said because the location was in Henderson and it was so many miles away from his home, that I had to cash out him $15 for gas to drive to my timeshare.
Did you cash out $15 each time you met him at Families First?
I cashed out him $15 one time at Family First for gas, as he said.
Were there, okay, so you recall doing it one time?
Yeah, because we met at Family First. We met to pick her up and then to drop her off. So, and we never went inside Family First. We actually did exchange ourselves outside in the parking lot.
Okay. Was there a time when changed his attitude towards your co-parenting?
Yes.
Okay, approximately when did that occur?
I want to say it was closer to maybe February, March, around that time when he was thinking of relocating. It seemed like our co-parenting got a little bit better. He was being, nice to me. He was allowing me to spend more time with my daughter. For example, the Family First situation, he gave me additional time, and things of that sort.
Okay, do you remember some of the things that he said specifically?
Yes.
Okay, what kinds of things did he say?
Well, Dad will, when I felt like we were, co-parenting, or when he needed something, he would tell me that he loved me, how he wanted it to just be me, him, and have a family. Then he called me that night and we talked on the phone.
Around what date are you referring to?
Maybe February, March, I can't remember
Of
exactly.
what year?
Of this year, I wanna say.
Okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry, you said he called you on the phone?
Yeah, he called me on the phone, you know, just asking to be romantic again, asking for us to get back together. You know, from the app post messages, we're going back and forth with, you know, how much we love each other.
What, if anything, did he offer you as an incentive for you to agree to the relocation?
He offered a lot of things. He offered to pay me for my daughter. He said he would pay me if I was to let him if I would sell her to him. Then he also said, well, how about I'll offer no child support. He also offered that if I was to allow him to move. And then he also offered for me to relocate with him and maybe to another state besides Texas.
Did he offer more time for you to have more time? Or your daughter, sorry?
No, Dad did not ask, or did not offer me more time with he was allowed.
Your daughter.
With my daughter if he was allowed to relocate. But I did ask.
You did ask what?
I did ask if, you know, if he was to relocate, if we can do like, you know, agreed on timeshare, meaning like, you know, we would get her equal amount of time to see her, and he did not like that idea.
When, after this period of the I love yous and the phone calls, when did that change?
I'm gonna
Did that change?
object to this states, well, I'll withdraw.
Go ahead.
Do the messages reflect the statements that you testified to about the I love yous and the being nice?
The record will reflect that, yes.
Okay. Was there a time when that attitude changed?
Yes.
Okay. When did the attitude change?
The attitude changed when I was not agreeing with the relocation after Dad asked me multiple times to change my mind. Dad asked me if he can like basically buy me, and I basically was not agreeing. So I think then he wasn't nice to me anymore.
Okay, what was Dad's representation? Do you recall Dad's specific representation about this job offer that he allegedly received?
Yes.
Okay, what do you specifically remember?
I specifically remember him texting me on the app and him saying that if I agreed to him to relocate, he has a job that he's going to be making $200,000 a year, and all this money can go to for her to have a better life and things of that sort.
Did strike that. When did the temporary relocation get granted? If you know.
I don't recall.
You recall the month?
Maybe in March or April.
All right. Do you recall asking you to accommodate him for a funeral?
Yes.
What do you recall about that?
I remember Dad telling me that his mom had passed away and that she was a grandmother and, you know, her and, you know, had a relationship with her, and he asked me, can she go to the service, and I agreed.
Was it during your time?
I can't remember.
Was it out of state?
I don't remember if it was out of state. those are the things I don't know. I just said yes.
Okay, would it refresh your recollection to look at the messages?
Yes.
Alright, so turn to page 183.
Okay, I read the,
Okay, do you remember the terms of the request?
I'm reading and I don't see where he requested on this page. Maybe it's the next page.
Maybe. My numbers might have gotten one off because of the different. Okay, for now, I'll move on, but if we might come back to that. What were the reasons, did you express reasons why you did not agree to the relocation when you were discussing it with?
I do remember telling him, I believe to have both of her parents in her life on like a daily basis, to see them on a regular basis. So I do remember expressing that to him. I remember expressing, maybe not exactly to him, maybe to my attorneys, that due to all the other issues, you know.
Okay, let me read, can I stop you?
Okay.
No, what?
Well, no, we don't want to hear anything
I
that.
can't go.
Yeah, don't tell me anything that you said to your
Thank you,
attorneys or
Judge.
they said to
Oh,
you, because
okay.
that's all privileged,
Thank you.
but, yeah.
Let me ask this a different way. What kind of support system does your daughter have here in Las Vegas right now?
She has an aunt who lives here. I have a brother who resides between Las Vegas and Arizona. And a cousin who lives
Oh, you
here.
keep saying her name over and over. You can call her G,
And
that,
G,
if that helps.
that's right.
That's okay.
Go ahead, keep going.
And G has a cousin who resides here, and you know she also has my family friends who I've known before she was born, who she has a relationship with, they see my friend Lynn on a regular basis, like every weekend when we would.
Your daughter.
My daughter, we would go out, go get ice cream, hang out. I would go get her cousin, Ari, and we would she would see her, because she was the same age as she was.
Does she have friends her age too?
Yes, she has friends, she has a best friend from gymnastics, who, me and her mom would do play dates. We would go to birthday parties and things of that sort. And she had, she would see her maybe not every weekend that I had my daughter, but at least maybe twice out of the month or something of that sort.
How old is your daughter?
Currently, she's 5.
What activities was she involved with here in town?
She was involved in gymnastics class.
The same class?
She she's been in the class for about maybe 4 years now. She started a little bit, after she turned 1. So yeah, she was enrolled in gymnastics. She had a strong support system with her classmates in gymnastics, as well as with the gym teacher, Mr. Kelly.
What kinds of things do you do with your daughter during your custodial time when you have her weekly?
We will go to the gymnastics. I'll take her to the library sometimes. We would do staycations. We go to Dave and Buster's. Fun activities of that sort. I'll have my family or my mom will fly down, and she will be able to spend some time with my mom. And then when my brother, was here when he was working, she got to spend some time with her uncle, my brother.
Okay. What family, if any, does your daughter have in the town she now, or the town she's now living in?
I've never known my family in Texas.
Does she have any friends in Texas that you know?
Not that I know of.
Do you know if she's in any activities in Texas?
I do know sent me a message on the app of like possibly putting her in an activity, but I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm gonna go back to what we talked about earlier about the funeral, and I'm gonna have you refer to page 191. Once you have a chance to refresh your recollection, please let me know.
Okay, I reflected on
Okay, what happened regarding the funeral?
asking me what my thoughts were on being my daughter being at mother's funeral. And I told him that was okay with me and that she loved her.
So council, let me do this. So I'm going to conclude this for the day. And what I'd actually like to do is have council out and just do a sidebar with you guys out in the hallway. And just give you some thoughts that might help you.
Sure.
I'm gonna go off the record.
Okay.
600-476, I know that we need to address what we're doing, to get from point A to point B, which would be the date of our next hearing. So I think that we hadn't really made any orders after this, right? In terms of when mom's gonna have.
Right.
Sorry, I just said it. When mom's gonna have G, sorry.
Sorry.
It is hard not to do that. So what are the parties contemplating what they wanna do?
Your Honor, I have to be honest, I should have contemplated another day of trial, but I didn't
That's
really
okay.
talk to my client about it. I can ask her though.
Sure.
Okay, well, my client's willing to do whatever, as much as she can. I know
Right.
they're purporting that, she's going to be starting kindergarten. Although she's in kindergarten, a lot of times that's flexible. I know from experience, my own children.
It's full day kindergarten.
Yeah, but they're usually pretty flexible with allowing weeks at a time, from my experience.
And then Ms. Mom, what was your plan contemplating?
What about resignation time for mom until we come back? Suggestions?
Yeah, we just, when you have her any weekend, any week, right? Because you're not going out of town. She wants to know what your schedule is.
I'm not going to.
Okay, so my client doesn't have any prearranged plans at all until October 1st.
So with that.
And realistically, we're not gonna issue an order on October 1st, because, we have to do everything in writing extensively. So what I'm thinking is, why don't we try to get it through Thanksgiving? And I know we have what, Nevada Day, right? Is that the next holiday we have coming up, or is there another one?
I think end of October usually, right?
Yeah.
Halloween-ish.
That's right.
Always Halloween-ish around
Oh,
Don't we have a?
Labor Day.
Labor Day,
Labor Day.
yeah, we have Labor Day coming up, right?
there. Columbus Day, is it Columbus Day in October too?
And a lot of schools, Your Honor, also will send like a week of home, seat work home for
Yeah.
kindergarten and allow you to take a week off as long as you get the packet and you can do it at your house.
I mean, I don't know, is kindergarten mandatory in Nevada or no?
No,
It starts at
you
age
can
6.
start at first grade.
Yeah, it's kindergarten's not,
Did
I don't know
they
about
change
Texas
it?
though.
I don't know if they did.
Can I comment on that?
If
They-
someone knows, I don't know.
I don't know, Your Honor.
One of the other schools that she was possibly gonna be enrolled in here has been sending me emails and saying that they'll report to truancy if she doesn't show up. But I was trying to explain to her that we have an evidentiary hearing, so I've got emails from the school asking where she's at.
Here in Las Vegas, but you live in Texas.
Correct. From Freedom Classical Academy.
Kindergarten, last time I tried, it's not mandatory.
When did she turn six?
Flavor districts in June.
It's also not mandatory in Texas.
Oh, so it says, I actually just looked it up, and it says that you have to attend, school by 6 years old, and she's not gonna be 6 till next year in June.
Okay, okay, so it is starting at age 6.
Yes, it says the required school age for students in Nevada begins at age 6.
And I'm not discounting the importance of kindergarten, because I think it's really important,
That's a great
but,
top child school in the state.
but at the same time, I do wanna be sure that mom has parent time, especially because we aren't sure obviously what we're going to be doing in this case yet. So, what would mom's proposal be?
Do you want to just do the Labor Day?
Yes.
Can she do from Friday of Labor Day all the way till the following Sunday, so she can have an extended?
So, let's see, when is Labor Day?
Maybe she'd miss Tuesday through Friday that week, but then we can also get some work from the school. It would start, I think, this week.
So what
Will
school
it
is,
start on the sixth, September
So the
6th?
6th of September is the beginning of Labor Day weekend? Oh, no,
Labor Day's on
Labor Day's the
Monday.
30th.
30th to the 3rd, the 3rd is Labor Day.
30th of August until the 6th of,
September 2nd.
8th of September is what we would be asking for.
do you know what school she's attending down there?
Yes, it's called Canyon Creek Elementary.
Is it a public school in
It's part of
Texas?
the Round Rock Round Rock School District.
But it's a public school?
Yeah.
And you haven't had a conversation with them about whether or not she can just take work with her in kindergarten?
It's
I don't
not,
know.
it's nothing I've heard of. I have 2 other children. I've never heard of that either, so.
I've heard of it, and
Yeah.
sometimes they can give them packets, but just because of the posture of the case, I'm going to allow that, and parents just work together to explain to the school the situation. You have kind of in the middle of the evidentiary hearing, it is what it is. And obviously you guys have joint legal custody right now, and we're just trying to figure out how to work in her best interest. So I do think it's in her best interest to be able to have that extended time with mom. So it'll be from, we said August 30th to September 6th, right? Is that what you guys said?
That's a Friday, the 6th is a Friday,
The
right?
8th is the Sunday.
Yeah, 7th is my birthday, so I know that's a Saturday.
So the 30th through, they can exchange on the 8th to go back to Texas on
In the
Sunday.
morning,
And what day
Yeah.
of the week is it?
so she can acclimate.
The 30th is?
Whatever day the direct flight is,
Yeah, so I don't, so
or time.
the 30th is a Friday, so I don't want her to miss more school than she has to miss. So let's just have her go on, so we'll do the 1st.
Okay.
September first,
Saturday.
that's a whole week, September 1st.
It's the 31st, actually.
31st, sorry. There's
August
31 days
31st.
in.
August 31st is Saturday, I think,
Yep.
right?
So we'll do the 31st, Saturday, August 31st to Sunday, September 8th. And hopefully Dad can get her earlier in the day rather than later, so she's not all tired when she has to go to school the next day.
Time difference and everything.
And then our next one would be Nevada Day, right?
Right, we are in court though, on the 1st.
October 1st, yeah.
So Dad will be here anyway.
Yeah.
So we could do, yeah, around, if he can come for that weekend on the 27th. Mom could maybe, he could bring the child with him.
What day are we're back
It's a
on the-
Tuesday, the
Yeah,
1st.
I'm just trying to minimize her missing school down there. So,
Saturday before October 1st.
yeah, he could have her Saturday, so a bit about, not even a whole month after mom sees her. So it'd be the 28th. And then I know Dad's in court with us on
Tuesday the first.
The first.
the first, so Dad will be here anyway. And then I assume, sir, you'd probably fly back on the second, right?
I can certainly try to see if there's tickets available on the first. I don't know at this point, but
So-
certainly try. Evening
Well, I
flight.
think we're gonna be in here probably the whole day, so we probably have to fly back on the second,
It's fine.
so,
You said September 28th.
yeah. And that can be flexible, I mean, if the school is willing to give her like packets of work to do in kindergarten, obviously, then if Dad's able to do it, we can move it back a day and do it on that Friday.
Mhm.
I don't know how strict they are about kindergarten or not strict, but
Would we talk about the following visitation when we get to court on the first then? Next time?
yeah, I mean, I'm just being honest with you, I'm not gonna issue a decision the same day.
Right.
Yeah, we can deal with the
Because
next.
there's so much stuff we have to put on the record.
We'll probably deal with the next block, next time we're in court, I think, Judge.
Yeah, cause we'll be coming up on Veterans Day and then the Thanksgiving holiday. I mean, if we still don't have a decision out, which I would hope I would by then, the anticipation would be Mom would obviously have her all at Thanksgiving break. And
Well-
then over that Veterans Day weekend too.
It might be nice to know whether the school is accommodating too.
Yeah.
If we wait till the first, we can see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then we can maybe have a more,
Sure, and if they're accommodating, you know, parties, I know historically you haven't been able to work things out between yourselves very easily, but my hope would be moving forward, you're more able to do that because she's only 5 years old, you have 13 years, you wanna keep coming back here for 13 years. So, you know, find out, hey, how flexible are you, because sometimes they give them those packets at the beginning of the week, they just have to work through the whole packet. If they're willing to do that, then, you know, Mom should be getting more time, okay?
Mom can reach out to the school as well. She, you know,
Yes,
jointly.
just be
will-
sure that Mom is on the contact list for the school and they understand she does have joint legal custody.
She is.
Okay, and then what are you guys doing? Are you doing FaceTime calls right now, or
Yes, ma'am.
how are those going? Are those happening?
We actually were talking about it outside. Right now they're at 5 o'clock Nevada time, but he's asking to move it back a little since it's
7.
Nevada
It's
time.
5 o'clock.
5 Nevada time.
Right.
Okay, so that's 7 o'clock his time. He's asking if there's a possibility we can move it back a little, and she said she can. Most days, there are some days she has to work late, so she's gonna reach out on the app and let him know when it's a late day of 5 o'clock. Otherwise, she'll do it at 4:30 Nevada time when she can. And what days are you doing video visits?
It's Monday, Wednesday, Saturday.
Okay, do you want more, or
Yes?
wanna add it? Do you wanna do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday? So it's every other day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
At the 5 o'clock, unless she's able to do it
Yeah.
earlier, then she'll
What
absolutely
days?
reach out.
Just
Monday,
every other
Wednesday.
day, basically, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
They're very briefly, one of the smaller classes, last time I think we were here in March, or maybe it was prior to I'm getting some of the recording of the FaceTime calls. like, no
Yeah,
pop-
I'm
no-
sorry, I can't hardly
No,
hear you.
no recording of the calls,
Right,
and he's telling her on the app, I think that he's recording the calls.
yeah, are you recording the calls? The
We have
FaceTime calls?
we have a ring system that records everything on our phone.
It's actually illegal though.
A ring system is recording a
that's a-
phone
We have
call?
internal, no, it's not a phone call, it's recording the room.
Well, no, let's
Fair
not do
enough.
that, you don't need, why would, let's not have that camera on in the room when G is having her phone calls with Mom.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm not sure why you would be doing that to someone inside of their
It's our-
bedroom,
it's our
or wherever
entire
she's
home.
doing it.
It's a
Okay,
room,
well, you
clear.
need to turn it off during the period of the phone call, I mean, it's brief, right, what is it, like, max 30 minutes?
5-year-old Judge, I mean, try talking to,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, try talking to my.
shortest 1 minute, as long as.
It isn't, there is no max, but sometimes when the child wants to talk more like 45 minutes she has, or she cut it short too. Lately, he's been doing the Zoom that cuts itself off after the 30 or 40 minutes automatically. Oh, and he's telling her that you only gave 15 minutes,
Minutes on the call.
Well,
which is not what the order
Mom
says.
is distracting. Do we really want to go down this road? Not to
No,
judge
I
her?
just want to clarify what the
Yes,
max.
well,
Just don't want the kid recording, it's a little
No
intrusive.
recordings, and is there a maximum amount of time that
There's
you
no
want?
maximum, it's just, obviously she has to go to bed at some point
Yeah.
because she's a little kid.
Be reasonable.
But, just take your cues from her and she can talk as short or as long as she wants to talk, and that's perfectly fine. And mom, if it's coming up on like really long, you're like, okay, it's been an hour, then, obviously you'll know as a
And
parent.
she surely knows how to tell us too, when she's
Yeah.
ready to get off.
So
But
like
is it
I'm done.
FaceTime or
For the
how were
phone
you
calls,
doing
Nobody's to be
the
distracting
video?
the child during
Is
phone
Zoom
calls.
working for you?
yeah, Zoom's fine.
Okay, so they've been doing Zoom and apparently that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, just, don't record it.
And
You know,
no
turn off your-
coaching, no trying to,
We have a
Yeah.
behavior order, so.
Okay, anything else that you guys felt like?
One final thing, I know that we're coming back in October, Judge, we talked about he has a new job. I asked that once he gets paid subs.
Yeah, if you do, sir,
Yeah.
absolutely. And can you update
Yes.
hers, because she has zero
So,
for her income, I don't know how she's
both
living.
sides, let's file in within, I'll give you guys 10 days, so 10 court days, file a new updated FDF.
Thanks, Judge.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, my start date's the 12th, I don't know if I'll have a paycheck in 10 days.
Well,
Hang on, okay.
it's,
Well, we could get something from your employer, maybe this
Sure.
slap on the back.
sure, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Aaron.